So I've just got off Facebook Live to catch up with everyone. I just got off my treatment a couple hours ago. And you know what? There's really nothing special from today's treatment that I like to go over. Except for maybe a couple things. I did write stuff down this time that was legible. But kind of want to talk about you guys this time. Just like if I could give advice, I would. If I could give advice, this would be the things I would say. But I want to start by going after something. This is my pumpkin. I sleep with him because he's nice and cool. Something I wrote down was the brain is usually everywhere it's not supposed to be. Is it not, though? Sometimes your brain, and I mentioned this in my live I was just in, your brain could do anything. Your brain could think anything. Your brain is a powerhouse of endless energy and resourcefulness. Resourcefulness. But sometimes it just chooses to be a dick and like work against you in every conceivable way. And it's exhausting. And if you feel like this, you feel like a failure. You feel guilty. You're like, why? I just want to be, normal? Yes, normal. That's the word I said. I want to be like other people who can just function without suffering for it, I did write some things about what I saw, but I'm not so interested in picking apart the nuances of the, like the metaphorical imagery and stuff. It's sort of interesting, but I'm just tired right now. Another thing that I'll try to decipher, but I'll put it in different words, is, I know it is supposed to make me happy, so I act accordingly. So you people who suffer from anhedonia, you still know what makes you happy, and you know the things that are supposed to excite you. And not only does anhedonia, rob you of your joy, but it gives you anxiety towards things that you know you want to love and you're supposed to. In my examples are Halloween, going to shows. Sometimes going to shows, I'm so stressed out that I just want them to end. And it's like, these are the things that kept me going, that made me want to, keep living. Like War, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden. I've missed so many shows or just suffered through them because my brain just doesn't want to have it anymore. It's like, what do you want? And this, something that my prescriber told me before I started taking esketamine treatment. And it made a lot of sense, and it made me feel less like shit about myself and less guilty, which I still do. Those are ingrained when you have a weird brain. But she said, here's your brain, right? And it's got these little hairs and tendrils. And then those things have little branches that go out. They have these little branches that go out, and those branches have branches, and those branches collect and suck in the dopamine and the serotonin that's needed to be not a miserable creature that's suffering from suicidal ideation every day of their lives. It's not your fault. A lot of people are like, why don't you just take a hot bath? Or why don't you get a girlfriend? Why don't you whatever? Just shut the fuck up. And people say things and they mean well, but they sound so ignorant it makes you just want to either punch them or cry or both. It's not like that. It's more like, why don't you just have a normal brain? Well, you can't. And I had mentioned having your brain born with a mental illness is like any other illness, obviously, so you've heard. It's just an invisible illness. If you have diabetes, you can treat the symptoms and live a somewhat normal life. If you choose not to treat the symptoms, you're gonna have a bad time and you're gonna die. Just think with mental illness, you can treat the symptoms and you could laugh again someday. You could choose not to treat the symptoms and you're gonna have a bad time and you're gonna die. So I did what I told myself I should do, and I pulled up my panties, my big girl panties. I put those ones on, and I grounded myself. You can't stay above the ground or under the ground. You can't stay in tomorrow, you can't stay in yesterday. Stand on the ground with your 2 feet, die with your fucking boots on, plaster a smile on your face. I went in there and did my best to stay positive, and it wasn't that bad. And maybe it's just me that has a hard time with that particular part, is when you're in there for 2 hours and then you actually take the, in my case, 3 inhalers of esketamine. I don't remember the dosage, but it's unpleasant for me, but that's okay. And it wasn't that bad. And I'm not saying it was gonna fix everything. We're gonna see if there's a pattern, and I think for me the pattern will take longer to develop, being that I am bipolar. And this is not for bipolar. For people who aren't watching, I should do a tiny recap for every video, shouldn't I? A lot of people are really confused and switched off to fucking watch PewDiePie or something right now. Do the kids still watch PewDiePie? I'm just saying that because I still watch PewDiePie. I love PewDiePie. Anyways, so, yeah. There's people out there who are really mean. And they've said and done really nasty, mean shit. And you're like, what kind of fucking person are you? What is wrong with you? That's the answer. Sometimes there's people who act out because they don't know what the fuck is wrong with them, so they just are incorrigible dicks. Maybe some of those people, you know, their dog died and they're upset and they're taking it out on you. Maybe their brain is fucking wrong and they were raised in a household where being mentally ill is weak or it's not addressed at all. So I try to not let my empathy get me in trouble, which it does, and I try not to be naive, which also gets me in trouble. But something I think about all the time, not just now, not just these times, something I think about all the time is when people are dicks to you, smile. Not just to be an asshole, like, you know, sometimes I'll smile at someone who's being a dick because I'm being a dick back, and that's my way of doing it sometimes. But maybe they need a smile because, like, everyone is giving back what they're giving, and that's negativity, but all they have is negativity because they don't know what's going on with their fucking brain. Anyone who's woken up and just wondered, why am I like this? And you go through the world acting like, why am I fucking like this? And then people are mean to you, and your life sucks even more. I hope you can find something. I hope if you do try esketamine treatment that it does work for you, and I hope it works fast for you. But until I have any grand changes, I'm going to keep updating and we're going to see if there's a pattern. But I will say there's been a couple more nights than usual of sleep. I do wake up really tired. Sometimes I have to use Ativan to sleep, which makes it almost impossible to wake up. The passive suicidal ideations have subsided a bit. That's a thing. And I am getting more interested in doing the crafts I used to do. I'm not doing them, but the thought of doing them isn't as scary as it used to be. Sometimes I'll get actually sick in my stomach when I would think about having to paint or take on another commission or sew something, you know? I'm gonna puke. I just ate 2 bags of Skittles because I hate myself. I'm just kidding. I was just trying to sate the dark sadness inside me that's eating my soul, and it worked. So, I love you guys. Please don't be so hard on yourselves. We get through this if you try. Or die with your boots on. I'll see you next time. Our next treatment is the day after, I think it's the day after Halloween. Happy Halloween, guys.